Tech News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Today's October 10th, 2025. Here are this week's top stories. The war in Gaza is officially over, a deal secured by Trump's personal promise that Israel would not resume fighting. This according to Axios, which reports that Trump personally guaranteed this to Hamas in order to gain its agreement to his 20-point peace plan, which was officially implemented Thursday. Since then, Israel Defense Forces have withdrawn to an agreed-upon border, and thousands of Palestinians have tentatively started to make their way back to their homes. 53% of Gaza is still under Israeli control. The U.S. has promised 200 troops to lead an international force to ensure the peace terms are kept, including forces from Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. And for the first time in U.S. history, Americans are sympathizing more with Palestine than with Israel. A new Quinnipiac poll reveals that 43% of likely voters sympathize more with Palestinians, while only 22% sympathize more with Israelis. Gen Z is the most sympathetic towards Palestine at 57%, as opposed to only 18% sympathizing with Israel. Israel is even beginning to lose the boomers, historically the most pro-Israel age group, with 36% sympathizing with Palestine and 35% sympathizing with Israel. Israel is also losing the Protestants, with 49%, almost half, sympathizing with Palestine, while only 17% side with Israel. As to Catholics, it's 37% to 28% in favor of Palestine. The war in Gaza has led to a massive shift in negative opinion towards Israel, even among Jews, with a Washington Post poll showing 61% of U.S. Jews believe Israel is committing war crimes, and 39% believing it's committing genocide. Meanwhile, an Israeli is showing the way toward peace and choosing radical forgiveness. Maoz Inon lost his parents on October 7th, 2023. He has since become a peace activist, working to reconcile Israelis with Palestinians.
And I choose radical forgiveness. I forgive Hamas for murdering my parents, and I forgive Benjamin Netanyahu and his government for sacrificing them, sacrificing the hostages, dehumanizing the Palestinian. And forgiveness is a very powerful tool. And I suggest and I can offer others to also use this lesson and this power, because this is what humanity is: forgiveness, reconciliation, justice, and peace.
Israeli Magen Inon also lost his mother and father on October 7th and is also choosing mercy over vengeance.
In the immediate aftermath of that terror attack, that some people were, and I quote you again, trying to hijack our pain in order to call for revenge and call for continuous violence. How have you...
Yeah, I'm so sad I was right.
Well, I was wondering how to phrase that question, actually, precisely that question, Margaret, because I was going to say, how does it feel to have been proved right in such a
It feels terrible. You know what? I don't care about being on the right side of history. I care about changing the course of it. And I think this is how me and my siblings have reacted to our personal tragedy. We try to do everything we can so other people on both sides of the border don't suffer the same fate.
Turning stateside, in Oregon, Portland police are protecting Antifa. This according to conservative journalist Nick Sorter, arrested at an Antifa protest while those who assaulted him were left alone. Antifa has been protesting a facility of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The Portland DA admitted Sorter had committed no crime and dropped all charges. Sorter's high-profile arrest has led to the U.S. Department of Justice now investigating corruption in Portland. And Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem paid a visit to Portland this week to urge its mayor and law enforcement to protect ICE agents.
Told him is that if he did not follow through on some of these security measures for our officers, we were going to cover him up. with more federal resources, and that we were going to send 4 times the amount of federal officers here so that the people of Portland could have some safety. They could have some security.
And in California, an 8th school is refusing to play against a transgender. Patriot High School girls volleyball forfeited its September 26th match against Jurupa Valley, which hosts biological male player A.B. Hernandez. 3 teammates of Hernandez are suing the California Department of Education, accusing it of intimidation and creating a hostile environment, quote, wherein they were bullied by school officials to censor their objections to competing with and against a male and to sharing intimate and private spaces with a male. In other news, young men are leading in church attendance. This according to a Barna Group poll showing Gen Z and millennial men outpace their older counterparts in going to church. Gen Z attends church on average 1.9 times a month, as compared to baby boomers who attend only 1.4 times a month. Data also shows that men, at 45%, are more likely to attend church than women, at 36%. Turning to the Vatican, Rome is renewing calls for the beatification of a Vietnamese cardinal. Cardinal Nguyen Van Thuan was Archbishop of Saigon when the communists imprisoned him for 13 years, including 9 years in solitary confinement. While in prison, he wrote reflections on scraps of paper smuggled to the outside world, collected in a book called The Road of Hope. His quiet witness even touched the hearts of prison guards, leading to their conversion. After his release, Pope St. John Paul II appointed him head of the Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace. And in 2017, Pope Francis declared him venerable, the first step before beatification. While the Church has tried to collect evidence for his sainthood, Communist Vietnam has put up roadblocks. The Holy See is calling for the faithful to pray for a miracle through the Cardinal's intercession. That is this week's Catholic News Roundup. Please visit stellamaris.media and sign up to our email list for all the latest news and updates. It is always free. You can support us by liking and sharing this content. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.